On the news, police officials see APC headquarters as party crisis fester. Court stops Godwin Obaseki from participating in PDP primaries. And 13 Imo lawmakers test positive for COVID-19 as national toll nears 21,000. A warm welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. The crisis in the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has taken another turn as armed policemen on Tuesday stormed the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja. The security officials who have sealed off the premises say they took the actions based on orders from the Inspector General of Police. Members of the National Working Committee of the party were asked to leave the building before the gates were locked up. A party member who spoke to TV360 Nigeria said the decision was taken to enable the police boss and the two NWC groups review and discuss the various court orders on the APC and its members.
When there is illegality, when the foundation is wrong, then anything you build will not stand. Will not stand. So what we have seen interplay is illegality, abuse of the party constitutions. So, in resolving the crisis, let's go back to what the constitution says for officers to occupy an NWC. It is clear. The NWC is a product of the convention. A lot of things that have happened today is because we got it wrong from the convention.
Well, despite the crisis ravaging the APC, Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello says the party remains united. Bello, who spoke to State House correspondents after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari in Abuja, said he is confident that the issues will be resolved very soon. The governor also expressed confidence that despite the crisis, the party will emerge victorious in the forthcoming Edo and Ondo governorship elections.
Our party is one solid party that in a particular big family like that, you won't rule out any misunderstanding in one way or the other. But I can assure you that our party is strong under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. And as a father, he is already looking into it, and I can assure you we're going to come out very strong. We're going to go to Edo State, and we shall win Edo State election overwhelmingly for APC. We're going to go to Ondo State and win it overwhelmingly for APC. We will take Anambra State and record it as a second APC state from the southeast and integrate our Igbo brothers into the fold. And we're going to take Ekiti once again and Oshun. So we're going to continue to expand our coast. So APC is strong. We're not divided. We're only seeing one same point from different angle. And we're trying to make ourselves understand, the point.
Still on politics, a federal high court sitting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has barred Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State from taking part in the People's Democratic Party governorship primary election slated for Thursday, June 25th, 2020. According to the court documents, the suit was instituted by one of the governorship aspirants on the PDP. In the suit, the aspirants argued that only those who purchased the forms during the stipulated window should be allowed to partake in the primaries. Obaseki recently defected to the PDP after he was disqualified to take part in the APC primary election. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed the governorship election for September 19, 2020. Well, Ondo State Governor Rotimi Amaechi has dismissed all aides attached to his deputy, Agbola Ajayi. He took the decision on Tuesday following the defection of Ajayi to the opposition PDP in the state. Spokesperson to the governor, Segun Ajiboye, who confirmed the development, did not give a reason for their dismissal. Meanwhile, Amaechi has severally denied having any rift with his deputy. And to security matters now, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, says he has deployed 5 additional helicopters to Katsina State as part of efforts to tackle banditry and other crimes in the state and in the Northwest region. He made the disclosure during his inspection of an area demarcated for the construction of taxiway, apron, hangar and aircraft shelters at Bukuru village for the newly proposed Nigerian Air Force Central Flying School. Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Chuka Buratai, has charged commanders, officers and men of the Nigerian Army to redouble their efforts towards ensuring that all security threats in the country are decimated. The Army Chief gave the marching order at a conference with principal staff officers, general officers commanding and field commanders in Abuja.
General Buratai directed all commanders, general officers, commanding and field commanders, all officers and men of the Nigerian Army to ensure that the charge given by Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief must be fully implemented so as to speedily crush Boko Haram terrorism and the myriad of security threats facing the nation. He warned that he wants to see an all-encompassing positive changes in the Nigerian Army operations and the security situation in the country. According to him, I quote, "There is no time for complacency, no time for excuses, and there will be no tolerance for shortcomings or failures. The situation must be reversed immediately."
The police have intercepted a truckload of youths said to be from different parts of the north at the border between Lagos and Ogun states. According to the police, the arrest was made following an intelligence report that a truck laden with tomatoes, which was Lagos bound, was also carrying a large number of young men. The youths, who appear to be in their 20s and 30s, have been taken to the task force office for further investigation. To contain the COVID-19 pandemic, the federal government had placed a ban on interstate travel across the country. Health workers under the Resident Doctors Association of Nigeria, Ondo State Chapter, have announced the commencement of an indefinite strike effective from Wednesday, June 24th. The health workers say despite their exposure to COVID-19, their welfare has been neglected by the state government. Meanwhile, the National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria has clarified that its recent strike action was suspended to provide the federal and state governments more time to resolve pending issues and fulfill the outstanding demands of doctors. NARD Public Relations Officer Stanley Egbogu confirmed to TV360 Nigeria that emerging from its meeting with the government, some of its members have begun receiving their hazard and inducement allowances.
We had an agreement that they will commence the payment of the COVID-19 inducement allowance. And as we speak now, first batch of resident centers were around 11 of our centers members. 11 centers have been paid so far. They also reached agreements to procure a life insurance for our members. So as we speak now, that is one of the meetings we're also having now. They sent us a list of insurance companies they've paid to. So we want to go and verify these claims. And then again, the issue of personal protective equipment, both the state and the federal teaching hospitals, most of them have not really shown commitment to producing that. But however, following our strike action, the Federal Ministry of Health has dispatched some personal protective equipment or gears to our members. We suspended the strike for just a period of 4 weeks, and we'll be having a meeting towards the end of July, and we'll discuss these issues once again. So during our meeting, our review in 4 weeks' time, we will look at the situation, we assess progress that have been made as regards the tertiary health institutions.
On a daily basis, Lagos produces over 14,000 metric tons of waste, and research has shown that more than 65% of these waste are non-degradable plastic materials. These plastics, which are often improperly disposed, are the leading cause of most environmental challenges, and experts are advocating for unique ways to mitigate the impact of these dangerous substances. This next report has details. When it rains, it's usually a nightmare for residents of this community in Surulere. Movement becomes almost impossible, as most of the streets are flooded with waste.
The problem has to do with evacuating the canal. During my tenure as the secretary, we wrote letter to the residents and the churches and mosques and those who will feel concerned for the canals. Well, unfortunately, we got no response from it. So, and the canal has to be a kind of periodic clearance, so which has not been done.
Just like these residents, many Nigerians fault the government for situations like this. But this environmental activist says the masses also share in the blame.
It is more comfortable for some residents of Lagos State to bag their waste, including plastic waste, and go drop them in the canal. One, they don't have to pay any money. Two, they don't have to have their environment littered. They have already transferred that into the canal. Now, when a percentage of people living in a street close to a canal dispose their waste on the canal, once there is rain, the canal is blocked. The result is that this water, which channel has been blocked, have no other place to go than to overflow the canals. And when they overflow the canals, they come into our streets and our houses. And at the end, we start holding the government responsible. But no, it is not entirely the government's fault.
Days after the downpour, work begins to clear the clogged drainage of old debris. While this is a step in the right direction, the government has been charged to also sensitize the people on proper waste management for a lasting impact.
We gather our waste the normal way, put them in a sack or a container, and when the Loma truck comes, they pick the entire thing and throw it into the Loma truck. At what point are those wastes sorted? But if the state government take the education to individual families, to the streets, to the LCDs and the CDAs, and so on, CDCs and CDAs, we can start educating individual families on how to sort waste from their kitchen so that recyclable waste don't go into the environment. If we separate the waste from our kitchen, the number of recyclable waste that goes into our canals, that goes into the environment, will be reduced. If we separate at home, then we too can make money selling this recyclable waste to companies that recycle.
Philip also believes manufacturers of these plastic materials should play a major role in ensuring they are properly managed after use.
There's a global principle, the polluters pay principle, that if you produce substances which become a menace to the society, then you should pay, you should be involved, you should contribute in managing the waste that results from your products. So if Lagos State have to clear a canal, for example, that the entire funding should not come from the purse of Lagos State government.
Plastics also pose a major challenge to aquatic animals, and scientists have warned that if steps are not taken to address the improper disposal of these items, there will be more plastics than fishes in the sea by the year 2050. Fidelia Aguncha, TV360, Lagos. You're still watching news now on TV360. To come after this break, 13 Imo lawmakers test positive for COVID-19 as doctors warn that thousands of recovered patients could be left with permanent lung damage.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We are only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Hey. Okay, which came out with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, here are some of our top stories. The crisis in the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has taken another turn as armed policemen on Tuesday sealed off the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja. Inside sources say the move is to enable the Police and National Working Committee review and discuss the various court orders on the APC and its members. There is more trouble for Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki as court bars him from contesting PDP governorship primaries. Obaseki has, however, expressed optimism that the issue will be resolved in no time. Despite interstate travel ban, police intercept truckload of youths from different parts of the north at the border between Lagos and Ogun states. Thanks for staying with us. And now to our COVID-19 coverage. 13 members of the Imo State House of Assembly have tested positive for coronavirus. Spokesperson for the Imo State Task Force on COVID-19, Chinedu Uwala, confirmed this to newsmen on Tuesday. This brings the total number of lawmakers in the state who are COVID-19 positive to 14. He said infected lawmakers have gone into self-isolation and the State Assembly complex in Owerri has remained shut since the first lawmaker was diagnosed with the virus. On the national level, 20,919 COVID-19 cases have so far been confirmed across 35 states and the Federal Capital Territory. No fewer than 7,109 patients have been successfully treated and discharged, while 525 have died as a result of the virus. Doctors have warned that tens of thousands of recovered COVID-19 patients will need to be recalled to hospitals to undergo checks for possible permanent damage to their lungs. The medical experts said such patients could be left with lung scarring known as pulmonary fibrosis. Common symptoms of fibrosis which cannot be cured include severe shortness of breath, coughing, and fatigue. Well, South Africa will roll out the continent's first coronavirus vaccine trial this week. The University of Witwatersrand is collaborating with the University of Oxford and the Oxford Jenner Institute on the new vaccine trial. The vaccine is already being evaluated in Britain, where 4,000 participants have signed up for the trial. Vaccinology professor at the University of Witwatersrand, Sabir Mahdi, told a virtual press conference that the first participants will be vaccinated this weekend. Brazil is planning its own pilot, which the United States is preparing to test, while the United States is preparing to test another vaccine in a mass trial of up to 30,000 persons. World number one tennis player Novak Djokovic has tested positive for COVID-19. Djokovic revealed that he and his wife Jelena have both tested positive for the virus. This is coming after Croatia's Borna Sirok, Gregor Dimitrov of Bulgaria, and Viktor Trotsky previously tested positive for the virus after playing in Djokovic's Andra Tour exhibition tournament in the Balkan region. The 33-year-old Serb also apologized to other players, adding that he would go into self-isolation for the next 14 days. We'll take a break here to bring you stories from the business world. Don't go away.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Let's now join Annette Felix for business updates.
Thanks, Fidelia. President Muhammadu Buhari has urged members of the economic community of West African states ECOWAS to comply with the agreed processes of reaching the common goal of the eco-regional currency. President Buhari said if care is not taken, the ambition of the currency could be in serious jeopardy. The president delivered Nigeria's position on the new regional currency at a virtual extraordinary meeting of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the West African Monetary Zone, WAMS.
It therefore gives me an easy feeling that the West African Economic and Monetary Union Zone now wishes to take up the ECO in replacement of its CFA franc ahead of the rest of the member states. This is in addition to deviating from the Community Act on a consistent attainment of convergence in the 3 years running up to the introduction of the currency and our subsequent reinforcing directives. I am informed that the French ministers have approved a bill to reform the CFA franc, and most, if not all, of the West African Economic and Monetary Union member states have already passed legislations in their various parliaments to that effect. I wish to call on you all to critically consider the recommendations made by the Convergence Council and take a common position that would not only safeguard the West African Monetary Zone from the pitfalls of a questionable union, but ensures that a monetary union with the right fundamentals which guarantee credibility, sustainability, and our overall regional prosperity and sovereignty evolves.
Stock Market Review is up next. Investors lost 2.02 billion naira today as equities market closed today on a negative note. The all-share index appreciated by minus 0.02%, and that's to close at 24,750.06 basis points, and that's as against minus 0.29% depreciation recorded previously. We also see that market breadth closed negative today as UAC prop led 9 gainers against 23 losers chopped by Unity Bank at the end of today's session, which is an unimproved performance when you compare that with previous outlook. Let's now go in depth into today's trading activity. We see that Unity Bank here is losing by minus 10.00%. Dangote Sugar is also declining by 1 naira and 30 kobo, as well as we have Ikeja Hotel and Nimet here. We see them slipping into the reds as well. And now to our top gainers. I already mentioned this. UAC prop is leading 9 gainers today, and others are WAPKIP, as well as Transcorp and O&O PLC. Now to the market summary here. We see that market turnover closed positive as volume is moving up by plus 34.70% today. Japo Oil, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings and Guarantee Trust Bank were the most active to boost the market turnover here in a total of 167.899 million shares sold, while for the top and most valued shares, we see that Guarantee Trust Bank, Dangote Cement, MTN and Zenith Bank were topping market value lists, and that's in a total of 3,782 deals. On the foreign scene here, we see that FTSE is making gains, jumping on reopening hopes and trade reliefs, with the ASI closing at 1.21%. And for the Dow, we also see a rise here of 0.97%. And the Nikkei is also having a bullish market day, with the ASI wrapping up at 0.50%. And that's it from here, Fidelia.
Thank you very much, Annette, for that update. Let's now move to the foreign scene. A court in South Africa has adjourned proceedings for the trial of former President Jacob Zuma until September. At a resumed hearing on Tuesday, Zuma appeared in court to face multiple charges of racketeering, fraud, corruption, and money laundering. The ex-president is being tried on 16 charges relating to $2 billion arms deal with French defense firm Thales in 1999 when he was deputy president. Zuma is accused of accepting 500,000 rand annually from the company in exchange for protecting the company from an investigation into the deal. The presiding judge has now adjourned the proceeding until September 8, 2020. And in sport, Everton boss Carlos Ancelotti has been accused by prosecutors in Spain of not paying €1 million in taxes. The charge relates to tax due for image right earnings during the Italian time as Real Madrid boss in 2014 and 2015. The Madrid Community Prosecutor's Office claims the 61-year-old concealed revenues intending to avoid his tax duties towards the public treasury with no justification. Ancelotti is yet to respond, and Everton says they have no comment to make at this moment. And that's it on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.